We talk so much about technology, but what does it really mean? So we'll talk a little bit about what are the so what for you, and then we'll dive into what I believe to be some of the key things that I've learned around digital leadership and what are the core principles to be successful. Now before that, one of the core principles, I think the first one, before we get in too deep, the first thing is you gotta do what you say you're gonna do, right? Gotta make your commitments. So first off is, how many of you have made and continue to make your New Year's commitments? Uh-oh. More than that? How many of you've given up already? It's just March, right? I started, and I figured this year would be the year that I was gonna make a significant change. So I said, hey, I told my wife, I told my kids, I got a New Year's resolution. I said, what's it gonna be, Dad? I said, Dad is going to become a millennial. And I learned some very, very interesting things. Number one, I learned that, I care more about losing my cell phone than I do my car. First rule of being a millennial. First rule. First rule. Number two, I learned a true passion for connectivity. I learned that, I would rather give up my sense of smell before I lost connectivity to the internet, right? And the third thing I learned is how powerful a connection is to the internet. It is so, in fact, powerful that 78% of millennials, if we had a room right behind this door, would go there and willingly put a chip implant in their brain, knowing the full consequences of a mistake, just to maintain speed and access to data. Are you with me? Amen. There's a couple millennials. Are you with me? It is amazing what millennials will do. And so I thought of my heroes. I was thinking about, if I'm going to really go on this journey, let me introduce you to the man who, if I was a millennial, raised me. Here's my dad. Incredible man. He's a hero. He loves automobiles, loves cars, loves them so much. We went to a car show in Chicago. We're at the car show. He gets home. I said, Dad, are you excited? He goes, yeah, that new Cadillac was incredible. We get home, it's probably about 11 p.m., almost midnight. He gets on, he starts texting. He says, man, this dealership is incredible. I said, what do you mean? I'm talking to Mark, and I'm telling Mark what I saw, and Mark is getting right back to me, man. He's telling me specs on the car. He's telling me if it's available. He said, Mark is incredible, and Mark is committed. 11 p.m. I said, Dad, I got a little question for you. He said, what? I said, Mark is not human? He said, what do you mean? I said, no, Dad, really. It's 11 p.m., Dad. That means it's like 1 a.m. over there. Mark ain't human. He says, no. I said, ask Mark if he's human. Ask him. He said, I'm not going to do that. I said, ask Mark if he's human. Hey, Mark, are you human? What did Mark say? Any guesses what did Mark say? Yes. No. He didn't respond. He thought he asked him if it was a spec for another car. Right? But Mark, in fact, was not human. And this is, in fact, what's happening to us in the digital age today. In fact, if you think by 2023, you will talk more to a bot than you will with your spouse. Think about it. Somebody said, that's happening right now. Right? Think about that for a minute. 50% of the hires, the people you're talking about, who you want to hire, lots of conversations about hiring force, are going to be made by AI and machine learning, 50%. So the stakes of human interaction with machines have never been higher. So when we think about that, let me share with you some of the implications. Number one, how many of you believe in real-time? Real-time data. Heard a lot of conversations about real-time data. Right? Real-time data is it. Here's the thing with real-time. It's too late. It's too late. See that car right there? It was my daughter's PT Cruiser. She's now a third-year PhD student at NYU. But at the time, she was 16. And as she told me Dad, I've been on this planet 16 years. I know how to drive. I said, okay, all right. Gets in her car. I said, you might want to check that oil. No, Dad. 16 years on this planet. I know what I'm doing. I'm good. I got this. What happened in real time? See that service engine soon light? That came on, that little oil light right there, a little back to the left. Real time. What happened after that? Dad was buying a real-time engine. That's right. Right? Dad was buying a real-time engine. Real time is too late. We have now entered a world where knowing what you are going to do is more valuable than what you actually do. You got to think about that for a minute, right? There's only one person at this table that's going to buy a car. I know who it is. There's only one person at this table going to buy a car. Everybody else in this room is a dealership. How many cars are we going to buy? One. How many people got to buy that data from me? All these dealerships, right? Knowing what you're going to do is more valuable than what you actually do. Number two, how many of you guys travel a lot? 300,000 miles a year plus? Yes. When I travel a lot, I have the same recurring nightmare at least every 2 to 3 trips. I get in line, everything's fine. Wait a minute, damn it. Uh-oh. I start sweating a little bit. Uh-oh. I don't have my Bose noise-canceling headphones. Now, why is that a problem? Because this beautiful young couple, 35, 37, beautiful young couple, with kids 2 and 4, well-behaved until they come across that line and they scan that ticket. It says, uh-oh, where is Joseph Bradley? Middle row, front row, back row, doesn't matter. I can't wait to express all my joy on the back of his seat for the entire ride. So in that moment, Joseph Bradley, African-American male, millennial, as discussed, looking for a pair of headphones is very different than Joseph Bradley, African-American male, millennial, looking for a pair of headphones on the weekend with my son. Context is king. 2 completely different individuals. In the first case, what am I doing? Man, I'm buying 1, 2, 3, 4 headphones with batteries, extra cases, I don't care. Right? On the second case, oh man, I'm in Best Buy trying to kill time. My wife is shopping, I don't want to go back outside. I want to have long conversations. I want to be intellectually stimulated. 2 completely different individuals, right? Predictability is key. We can tell human behavior 93% by just looking at your cell phone. Context. The reason it's so important to connect things, the reason everybody's talking about Internet of Things and IoT and connection is to understand context. Context is what is so critically important. And the last rule, I like to call it the Goodwill effect. My grandfather was Joseph Goodwill. And he always used to say, Joseph, what does it mean to have good character? And he finally told me, good character is what you do when no one is watching. And he believed that in order to be a good man, have good character, you had to be a man of the people. In other words, from a technology standpoint, value is increased exponentially as data and decision-making moves closer and closer and closer to the customer. That is what is so paramount and critical, right? So insight becomes a currency of the 21st century. So if insight is so critically important to you, what must you have? Everybody talks about the big S word, security, right? Security. What do you assume? Why do you care about security? Why do you care? Why do you care about securing your data? What is your assumption? Your assumption is that data is valuable. Why is data valuable? Why is data valuable? Because you assume it is correct. Uh-oh. Let's see. Look at that first picture to the left with the shark and the fins. How many people say that's a fake picture? How many people say real picture? Oh, it's fake. Fake. Okay, look at this one right here. Easy one. The lady with the foot on the shark's nose. How many people say real? How many people say fake? Fake. Fake, got it. Okay, this one down here. Kayaker and shark. Real? Fake? Yeah, that's real. But you can tell that's not me. You know how you know that's not me? Because that picture would be blurry, brother. Man, that thing would be, ain't no way in heck I'd be paddling so comfortable. You would not be able to get a clear picture. Okay, this one over here. Lady with the sharks and the kids. Real? Fake? It's real. Poor judgment. But real, right? Okay, so now you should be warmed up. So now, show of hands. Take a look at all those photos. How many people say at least 25% of those photos are real? Okay, that's good. How many people say 50% of the photos are real? At least 50% of the photos are real. Okay, anybody say 100% of the photos are real? None of them are real. There's not one real photo on that slide. All machine generated, all AI generated. Not one real photo. Data integrity is so critically important. By 2020, 50% of the data you consume, the majority of data you consume, will be false. Will be false. Data integrity is critically important. Okay, so what's at stake? Why do we care? We all know about how Kodak used to be a good moment. Remember that? Having a Kodak moment used to be a good thing. We talk about the US brands, but it's more than that. It's a global phenomenon. Look at Takata, right? Airbag, $30 billion company no longer here. It is a big deal. So, what do? How do you get ready? Let me share with you my insights, things that I've learned from a leadership perspective. Number one, all things are important, but they are not equal. All things are important, but they are not equal. One of the biggest problems you have in the digital age, you get enamored. It's and. But you do yourself a disservice and your people disservice if you cannot focus on what is critically important. What I've used for many years is a simple 2x2. On the lower axis, it tells you how much effort do you have to put in something, hard or easy. What's the level of impact? If it's very easy to do and high impact, those are no-brainers. Easy, no-brainers. If it's hard to do but high impact, those are worth the efforts. If it's easy but not much value, those are easy wins, extra capacity. And on the lower side, if it's hard and don't give me a lot of value, you got to reconsider it. Now here's the trick. When you do this, where do you think most things end up? Where does everybody put their stuff at? Up part of the crowd, right? At least on the upper. Nobody puts stuff down here. You got to force this to be 25, 25, 25. You got to look at a particular product, particular initiative, whether it's an initiative, whether it's a program, whatever you want to call it. Take one, and you got to compare that one that you obviously agree with, and you got to benchmark that and compare everything else to it. Critically important. I do it once a week. Some people do it once a month, but you at least got to do it weekly. Critically important. Okay, number two. How many of you heard of fail fast? Yes, fail fast. That's right. That's what you got to do. My CEO, Chuck Smith, I told Chuck Robinson, I said, Chuck, don't worry about it, Chuck. I lost $1 billion a day, but I did it fast. We all right. We okay, right? Fail fast, man. It's okay. Better than lose $1 billion quickly than $1 billion real slowly. I don't know. That's what you guys believe in, right? Silicon Valley got you saying that. Woo, fail fast. Who wakes up in the morning and says they want to fail? I don't. Failing is not fun. What do you got to do? What do you got to do? You got to improve your rate of learning. It is not about failing fast. It is not about failing slow. It's about accelerating your rate of learning. That's what you want to focus in on. Critically important. Okay, third thing. Always amazed at this one. We use the word inclusion and diversity. Are they the same? don't want to say nothing. Are they the same? No. Are they both important? Yes. I planted that one person on the side there. Thank you. She with me. She my soulmate. She right there with me, right? Yes, right? All right. What is diversity? Diversity is the potential to create value. The potential to create value. Inclusion is the realization of that value through full participation. So let me give you an idea. Okay, so had a meeting. It was only about maybe one table, about 15 people. They said, Joseph, we got a low-cost competitor to come into the market. We need your help. We need you to help us understand what decision should we make. Should we lower our price or should we try to compete on value, right? Okay. They started talking about 42 minutes. Meeting was to last an hour. They were going at it. They said, Joseph, let's stop it. What do you think? I said, well, it's true. We got every group represented. Parts of the world, globe, true. Everybody's represented. It's the diverse team, except we got one problem. I said, what? Well, we only had 2 of y'all talking for the last 42 minutes. I just said something, so that makes 3 of us, but that's 42 minutes, right? 2 people talking. And you've already decided that you want to lower the price. I said, what if we did a polling feature? What if we just asked people on the call? Sure enough, 2 out of the 15 said lower the price. The other 13 said, oh man, we checked out a long time ago. Don't do that, that's stupid. The difference between inclusion and diversity, driving full participation of your employee body. If you have them in the room, it ain't good enough. If you're having a meeting, you want to know if you're having an inclusive one, take out a piece of paper. Every time somebody talks, put a little mark by the name, picture, whatever you want. When you get 10 minutes into it, you're going to know pretty quickly if it's an inclusive conversation. Now, it may not be appropriate for you to go and ask that person right during that conversation. You may have to do it afterwards. You may have to do a chat, a text. But you, as a leader, got to understand it's important for you to pull that information. 93% of inclusive organizations exceeded their return on investment for IT solutions, compared to only 16% of non-inclusive. It's not just the right thing to do, it's a profitable thing to do. Now, here's the thing. Does that mean you don't need diversity? No, you gotta have diversity. It's the basic thing. So just go do it, please. There's nothing fancy. There's nothing fancy. Here's a real technical, I got my data science team. We did a lot of research on this. It's very, very technical, but I'll try to get this down. If you want to catch some bass, if you fish in a pond where there's only trout, you'll never catch a bass. You understand what I'm saying? If the people you looking at hiring aren't diverse, it's really hard to get a diverse hire. If the interview panels aren't diverse, it's really even harder to get somebody selected, right? So you just got to do it, right? You just got to do it. Okay. Taylor Swift. How many got Taylor Swift fans in the audience? Taylor Swift fans? Taylor Swift. Ooh, yeah, look at that. Taylor Swift. That's cool, right? Okay. Anybody know what happened here with Taylor Swift? She got on and told Apple, man, I'm upset. I am pissed off. Why'd she say that? Because they were going on with Apple Music, and they said, we're going to offer it free for 30 days, and we're not going to pay you for your music. We're going to let it be free for 30 days. What did she do? What'd she do? She went to Twitter, right? Said, ooh, let me tweet this out. Ooh, let me let everybody know what's going on. Let me tell you what would happen if, I'll make fun of my company. Let me tell you what would happen if that was us. Hey man, did you see that tweet about 2 weeks ago? What? Yeah, oh man, they just talked about us. Oh, what are we gonna do? We gotta get a meeting. Why? We gotta get a meeting to decide when we're gonna have the meeting. Okay, let's get a meeting to decide when we're gonna have a meeting. Well, who are we gonna invite? We gotta have another meeting to decide who we're gonna invite. Okay, let's get everybody in the room. All right, let's start talking about, oh, wait a minute, do you have a Twitter account? No, oh, gotta call IT. Let's get a Twitter account. Oh, who gonna write the message? I gotta have a meeting with legal. Let's get the legal, get the meeting with legal. Let's get that approved. Okay, oh, you wanna type it in? Oh no, I forgot the password. Oh, call IT again, reset it. Okay, we got it. Oh no, we gotta get approval by the sales, engineering, operations, human resource, VP. Okay, great, you got it in? Yes. 6 months later, we got a response. That's just us. That's just us, right? So the question you got to ask yourself is, if that was you, how long would it take for you to respond? Can you actually move decision-making as close as you can to the customer? Have you thought about what are the decisions you want to allow your employees to make, and what data are you going to empower them with to make those decisions? In Apple's case, love this response, man. 2 hours later, we hear you, Taylors. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. Simple words. We hear you. We got you. We care. We got you. That's what that means. We got you. Think about that response, man. What happens if that response is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, 7 weeks, 8 weeks, 12 weeks later? Right. Now, I'm not going to make it funny because we've all gone through this. There's a company right now that's a little bit of trouble. They got some news this morning about an incident with an airplane, lives lost. It's tough. That's hard. It's a very emotional. It's a very emotional response. This is hard. But this is critically important to do, right? Really important to do. Okay. All the best strategy in the world, guys, culture kills it. Culture eats strategy for lunch every single day. So you can go back and you can draw all the nice fancy 2x2s you want. But if you don't invest in your culture, what is culture? What is culture? We use the word all the time. What is it? What is it? What is it? Right and wrong. What you do each and every day. What is culture?
How you make decisions.
How you make decisions. Energy. Passion. Share value. Leadership. It's how people know how to behave without ever being told. It's the last and only sustainable competitive differentiation. Let me repeat that. It's the last and only sustainable competitive differentiation. Technology, copy, matter of time. People, offer them enough money. So if you don't know and you can't describe what your culture is, you need to really go back and look at those things that are on that website that says about us, because it matters. Because who's looking at it? All those great people we're trying to hire, me, that millennial. Remember I told you about that? I'm looking at that stuff. I care about that, right? I really care about that. Okay. I know all of you, we talked about improving your rate of learning. All of you do this. When you wake up every morning, you know who you're going to listen to for 15 minutes in the morning and who you're going to listen to for 15 minutes in the evening, because you are a student of learning. And you know, by definition, that if you just walk around hoping to find information, 50% of the data you consume, the majority of the data you consume will be false. So you won't want to wander around. It's okay to be lost. To be lost by definition means I know where I'm trying to get to, I just don't know how to get there. It's not okay to wander around. That's danger zone. So you got to build your listening infrastructure right now. That means you got to think about what it is that you want to learn, who are the experts you're going to listen to, how are you going to listen to them, and you got to build that listening infrastructure. Because if you don't, oh man. How many of you use GPS all the time, to find where you are? I'm directionally challenged. Yes. Have you noticed something that's interesting that's happened? Now, I can't prove this, so don't go tell Zuckerberg, Joseph Barry said, no, I can't prove it, But it's kind of interesting because now the GPS is routing me some strange ways. It's starting to route me past certain stores, I'm noticing. They would never do that. They would never do that, right? They would never do that. Be careful of who you are listening to and structure your listening. Critically important. Okay. Innovation. 53% of the U.S. workforce is virtual, remote, close, agile. They don't want to work for you. Net, they are freelance. Uh-oh. 53% is freelance. Oh, freelance, you must mean they must do just like PowerPoint slide type of stuff. They couldn't be technical resources, right? Top jobs, technical, blockchain, freelance. Next one, AI and machine learning, freelance. If you are not innovating outside the four walls of your organization, you are missing it. Here's the deal. It's not your mess for less. That means you just can't go outside and say, oh, let me get a bunch of people. I need some freelancers coming and help me. You have to structure the work so that it can be received. It has to be modular. You got to modularize it. Here's the other thing most people mistake on freelancers. They only look as if they're worried about the IQ. But these freelancers have to do what? They got to integrate to your culture, man. You got to worry about EQ. Same way you're hiring an individual. Critically important. Critically important. Innovating outside the four walls of your organization. Very, very important. Innovation is going to happen here. Here's something I found very, very interesting. I won't name the site, but there was this client of ours that wanted to do a connected store. And they came up with the price tag of about, I think it was like $5 million, $2 to $5 million to do a trial. Anybody heard of crowdsourcing funding sites? Yeah. So one of our millennials decided that was a little bit too much. $2 to $5 million. So they went to this crowdsource funding site, something pretty simple. What do you think they found? They found somebody that wanted to build a digital store. Everything already done, lease and everything ready to go. How much do they think they wanted? $2 to $5 million is the other one. How much do they wanted? Really good. 25 grand. 25,000. 25,000. You think somebody could have used that? Yeah. Innovation outside the four walls of your organization is critically important. Okay, the last one, which I think is probably the most important of all that I've learned. We live in a world today where pretty much all the answers are known. Just ask your kids and look at Siri. Just go to Alexa. How many you got Alexa in your house? Oh, y'all don't value privacy. Oh, I love this group. That's good. I love you. Yes. How many people value their privacy? How many people value their privacy? Come on now. Yeah, okay, good. So those of yours that said you value your privacy, how many of you go to a restaurant, give your credit card to somebody you don't know, they go charge you, give you a pick of sub, and you sign it, you go, oh, I'm happy. But I thought you said you value your privacy. How many of you guys that value your privacy go to a grocery store? You put everything you're going to buy on that conveyor, but everybody sees everything you're going to buy. But you do it anyway. Why do you do that? Why do you do it? Privacy is contextually based, right? That's the problem with having policy. It's based on the value you receive, and it changes. What makes it so hard, makes it so difficult, right? So one of the things we've learned in a world where all the answers are known, where therefore is the value? Value is understanding what question to ask. Let me repeat that. In a world where all the answers are known, value is in understanding what question to ask. It is critically important. Einstein said if he had a minute to save the world, he would think about it for 50 seconds and execute the last 10. What do we do? Think of it this way. If you play any sport, I coach a lot of basketball. First thing we teach is body position. Whether you're defending or squaring yourself up to the basket, if the goal is to the right and I'm squaring up over here, It's going to be really hard to make that shot to the right. It can happen, but it's really hard. If you're playing golf and the tee's over there and you line up this way, you can hit a hell of a slice, maybe, but it's really hard. If you ask yourself for years and years and years and years how to sell more comic books, and you find yourself going bankrupt, and you keep asking yourself, how do you sell more comic books? It's really hard for you to be successful. Who am I talking about? Marvel Comics. What did they do for years? What was the problem? What problem did they say? What's our problem? We got to sell more comic books. Oh, we got to sell more comic books. We got to sell more comic books. We're going into bankruptcy. That's okay. We got to sell more comic books. Then what happened? Oh, yeah. Somebody asked a different question. Wait. What if it's about not selling more comic books? What is about improving the entertainment value of our asset? Oh, what do you mean? God damn, man, Iron Man to the rescue. What happened? How much did Disney pay for him? $5 billion. They went from bankruptcy to $5 billion. Same people. What do? They fundamentally changed the question. It is so paramount. If I ask around this room and I ask people all the time, how many resources do you have? People say, oh, Joe, my number one question is, how do I hire more talent? I got to hire more talent. Is that really what you got to do? What if you change the question slightly? What if you said, how do I access more talent? Ooh, that's a little bit different now, right? It's a little bit different now. Fundamentally, the question that you ask is paramount. And why is that so important in a sales role? Uh-oh. Why is that so important to you? Why is it so important in a sales role? We got some data guys here. I know my conference in Table 1 was killing me with some data, man. We got some data scientists in Table 1. Why is it so important? Why do people, I call myself from Chicago. I'm actually born in California, but I love Chicago. I love it. I've been there 3 years, so I'm from Chicago. And I got to tell you, I learned something that was just amazing to me. I learned what it meant to be emotionally connected to a company. Why do I say that? Because the people in California, how many of you like Apple? How many Apple fans? Apple fans, you got to have that phone first, Apple fans. See, yeah, y'all ain't emotionally committed. Why do I say that? Because see, y'all go into a store, and it comes out in October and stuff, and y'all out there, and it's 60 degrees, and ooh, it's cold. Ooh, it's cold. Let's put our jacket on. Chicago is minus 30. And people outside saying, I can't wait to get this phone. They are what? Emotionally. They are emotionally connected. There's 52% more value in a customer that is emotionally connected. That is why Steve Jobs said it's not about doing customer surveys. Because he said fundamentally it's about making sure you are challenging yourself to ask the high-value questions. That's what it's about. That's what it's about, right? Being emotionally and fully connected. That is what's so critically important. So, some of my favorite questions. So, I don't have time to teach you and go through the entire ask methodology, but it's pretty simple. You aim, A for aim. So you take a question, you get focused, aim. You surprise, you challenge your assumptions, then you ask why, you kindle, right? But when you fast forward all that, these are some of the best questions that I think stimulate thinking that we've had from a sales perspective. What do you know about your customer that no one else does? If everything is fundamentally about insight, that means the data you have is your competitive differentiator. Anybody can run data science. I just told you, Kaggle, man. Kaggle, if you need some data science, go to Kaggle. Put $10,000 a project, man, you get about 100,000 of them working for you right now. Okay? It's all about the data set you have, the data assets you have. What are the emotional triggers for your customers? We talked about that. Who uses your product in ways we never thought of, man? I love this one. That means you have to know how they are using it. Using it, right? That means you got to know how they're using it, right? Okay. What counts that we are not counting? And my favorite one, who do you want your customers to become? Right? There's some of the critical questions. Again, there's more you can ask. There's more questions you can ask. But think about the foundation of making sure you spend time, because whatever question you fundamentally frame up, that by definition will determine the target that you try to reach, right? It's determining success. Okay, so we covered 8 of them. All things are important but not equal. Stop failing fast. Please don't repeat that anymore. Stop failing fast. Accelerate your rate of learning. Inclusion. It's the profitable thing to do. Move decision-making closer to the customer. Culture. Know your culture. Strategy function every day. Build your listening infrastructure. The majority of information you consume by 2020 will be false. Innovate outside the 4 walls of your organization. And innovation, fundamentally, is not about worried about the right answers. It's fundamentally about changing your questions. Critically important. Now, most people get around a table like this point, and they all get excited when you guys get done, and the conversation happens. People say they want to introduce you after this is over, you want to start mingling. What do people do? What do they ask you? They say, what did we do? I say, what do you do? What do you do? Common question. What do you do? Why do we ask that? Because we know we got to make money. Nothing wrong with it. We got to make money. Humans got to breathe. Got to breathe air. The question is that your purpose? What is your purpose? That's the question that you got to ask yourself if you want to reach that next level of performance. What is your purpose? My purpose is to fundamentally change how we interact with people, how we work, how we live, how we play, to fundamentally change that and solve some of the world's most difficult problems. What is your purpose? It's very, very different than what you do. What is your job? That's what's motivating today. That's what folks are after. When you think about the problems that we have today, 1/4 of humans living without electricity. I love this one, man. More people got cell phones that got access to a bathroom. 40 million people are victims of modern day slavery. What is your purpose? That is the key to achieving high value success. One of the things that hurts me the most when I think about our future, and I think about all the power that we have as a technology community, as a sales community, as professionals, as humans. 22,000 children dying each day because of poverty. Something is wrong. And this is the generation that we're in right now, and we got the power to change it. We just have to care. We fundamentally have got to define and say, what is my purpose? So when you go back home and we get all excited, go, oh, it's all good stuff, and it washes away, I want you to think about, what is your purpose? Don't worry about what you don't know. Don't worry about what you don't know. That's not the key to success. The key is waking up and challenging each and every day what you believe to be true. Be a change maker. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it very much.